what started it was being a dumb kid in high school. Um,
Mm.
you know, the proverbial be an idiot. So me and a buddy, Nathan, and a dude we both ran around with in high school, his name was Christian. We were all camping that weekend, and Christian was like, yo, let's go to this old abandoned farmhouse. We're going to meet up with some people there. And I'm like, okay. So we got in his car and we drove to the middle of nowhere in Tennessee. 20 something years ago, there was a whole lot of middle of nowheres in Tennessee, but I don't think it's that way anymore. I've heard it's expanded. But so we show up to this old abandoned farmhouse. And this is what's really important. Remember this, there's no electricity running to this house.
Mm-hmm.
The windows are boarded up, the doors are boarded up. So we go around back, and there's a group of Christian's friends, and they're like, yeah, there's a hole over here. Somebody ripped off the boarding over the window. So we go in, and they're like, yeah, this used to be a slave farmhouse. Who knows? Because it's high school kids. Mm-hmm. But they took a stone and they dug a pentagram into the hearth, and then, because we're high school kids, why wouldn't we put out a Ouija board? Mm-hmm. And because why would you not in high school, right? Like, mm-hmm. Who wouldn't want to do that? So we all, I don't know, there's probably 5 or 6 of us gather around, and we're all trying to get at least like a finger on the planchette, and we start asking questions like, oh, is there any spirits in here, and all this. And we asked like the dumb questions, like spell your name, and it's spelled Devic. And we're like, oh no, if you misspelled your name, what letter was it? And it was like the number 5. And we're like, oh, it's the devil. Because why wouldn't we? Because we're high school kids.
Right.
But then we asked the question, if there's really something here, give us a sign. And there was a scream, like blood curdling, like horror movie girl screams because of what and at that point in time, we were like, yep, it's time to go. So we all piled out, and Christian's friends went their way, and we're sitting in Christian's car, and I looked over my shoulder, and the bedroom window on the top of on the second floor, there's a light on in it. And I was like, hey guys, there's a light on in the house. And, you know, the response was, oh, you're full of shit. And I was like, no, guys, I'm serious. I was like, hey, Nathan, hand me that flashlight. And so I turned the light on, and turn the light off, and there's a light on in there still. And they're like, oh, it's got to be the city light coming through another window. And so I'm like, no, there's the window, and then it's a wall, an exterior wall. So there's no way. So so my buddy Nathan's like, what? So he saw it, and he's like, yeah, that's weird. So that was like, yeah, it's time to leave. So we drove back to the campground, and we're in the woods, and we're eating like sandwiches, I don't know, and we heard rustling in the woods, and out of nowhere walks out a black lab, and then walked to the middle of the driveway that led to our campground and sat in the middle of it facing us. Yeah.
Okay.
And so the next morning, I think it was the next morning, I woke up and I was sick. And so always, like, I held that close. Like, there's no way some 17-year-old kid's going to be like, yo, we saw a ghost. And like, nope, I was, you know, at that point in time, I had hair. And, you know, I was trying to be the cool kid in high school.